When I was 14, as many boys wanted to impress girls, and it got to the point where I was taking photos to really look to see if I looked okay, looking and seeking for admiration from others, and it got out of hand, and it sort of developed into a body image issue of taking numerous amount of photos. But I stopped posting them on Facebook because I was getting some not very nice comments.
When you say numerous, how many were you taking of yourself a day?
At the start, probably about 60 to 70 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even like in the morning, first thing when you got up?
Yeah. Especially in the morning, actually. It was part of my sort of grooming ritual that I would do. I'd take a lot of photos to see my imperfections clearer, and then obviously try and sort them out. But that developed into a mental health issue, which was body dysmorphic disorder.
Explain to us what that is.
Body dysmorphic disorder is an illness where you feel, well, sometimes it can get to the point where you feel so ugly you can't even leave the house. You sort of zoom in on every flaw, and it's bigger to you than anyone else who doesn't have body dysmorphic disorder. So, for example, if I had a spot, I didn't used to go out the house, and eventually it was 6 months I didn't go out the house for. So, I think it's we're talking about online, and I think it's an issue that needs to be addressed because online, being online can affect your mental illness.
You're a great looking lad. Where did this come from? Where do you think it came from? Have you had it explained to you?
Well, yeah, I've had it explained to me. I got fantastic help from the Maudsley Hospital in London and the great team they have there, and explained to me, I think I'm a perfectionist. I like to do things right. But actually, I think with me, I think it was sort of it was hurting my self-confidence that I was getting these comments. And I think I already had sort of a deficiency in this part. But, it actually went towards mental illness, which was not a thing you...
What were your friends and family saying? Because they must have seen the situation develop and spiral and see that putting 60 pictures a day of yourself is unhealthy. Were people talking to you about their concerns?
I mean, my friends at 14 years old were not very accepting before or after, I think, of taking them selfies. It was sort of linked as gay, and gay is obviously the biggest insult you can get at that age, even though it's ridiculous. And then after, of course, they weren't very accepting of the mental illness, and I think that's another problem in itself.
You friends with any of them now?
No, I'm not actually.
Yeah.
But my parents, interestingly, are both mental health professionals, and they were really, really supportive. But I think it's hard when it's your own child.
Wow.
And I think it's
How shocked
really
were
hard.
they when they found out?
They were very shocked, and I think this goes back to your point about being online. And actually, sometimes when you talk about pictures being posted online, you're out there. People can write whatever they want, and actually, it can really affect your self-confidence. And I really hope that no girl or boy, has to deal with that.
Have you found that yours is a solitary case, or are there plenty of other people experiencing what you went through?
I mean, I've had a lot of people come to me and say, I have this problem, and actually body dysmorphic disorder peaked in 2014 with the amount of searches it was done. I'm not saying that's from my story completely, but, it's interesting that young people especially, are starting to realize that by taking these selfies, and in the selfie age, it can be quite dangerous. And it's interesting, people looking at this story, they don't actually look at this story. I've had hundreds and hundreds of horrible comments about this story. So many people not very understanding, and it's normally from the older generation that them horrible comments come.
Really?
Yeah.
What, saying what?
So
Just saying that you're
Ridiculous,
vain or whatever, yeah.
First world problems,
right.
some ones that I can't say on air. But, I think that just shows that we need to educate people more.